Welcome to the Battle Pod, the only podcast that has no babies. There's no babies allowed on this podcast. There's never been any babies. We have always upheld a strict no baby policy, and we will continue to do so in the future. I'm Connor, and with me is Dion Lunsford,
who is absolutely babyless right now, yes. But I'm pretty sure Deja doesn't care. She'll definitely come back next time she's able to.
No babies. This is a policy. It's always been our stance. We've never had her on before, and we never will. Sorry, audience. We're going to keep depriving you of babies in the future.
Anyways, welcome everybody back to the Battle Pod. Coming back to you for the first time in maybe a couple months?
I have no idea how long it's been.
I don't know. All I know is Connor decides when we do these things. So,
time is like I've lost all of my grip on all concept of time. It no longer exists for me. It could have been years since the last time we've done it, and I wouldn't know. I've been trapped inside of a time vortex where...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is getting weird. I'm sure the audience agrees.
It's because I don't have any concept of time that I don't know how long I'm stalling in the mic, Dion. Look at what it's done to me.
Oh my goodness.
What are we here to talk about today?
Yes, that is the question. So yeah, we've got a fair bit to talk about because I believe we've had a couple of tournaments transpire since the last time we were able to get together. I believe we talked about the All Yokum tournament last time that went into the Red Guys event that we had, event number 4. That bracket was almost finished. We had reported that and talked about that a little bit last we were here. So since then, that's finished. Event 5 is finished. That was Honey Buns. And we're currently in event number 6, which is the Green Commander Summit format. Tournament where you're only able to play the 3 green commanders. We've started a beta for another Commanders League that we're maybe trying to fire out. If it works out well, we'll talk about that. It's a kind of a skirmish mode format involving teams. We've had a new set come into the app, the Higher Alert Requisition. We'll talk about that as well as show you guys some of those cards and talk about what we think of them. And probably end it off as usual with everybody's favorite part of the WWBC pod.
Yes, I definitely prepared a card this week to do that with. So we will definitely end with everyone's favorite segment.
Alright, yeah, so...
Alexa, open Star Realms app. Alexa, card gallery.
Oh my goodness. Well, anyway, so yeah, we'll get right into it here. So, Recommenders tournament number 4 ended with winner Borkin Beans playing the Lee. Trying to get stuff here. There we go. Format for the Red Commander Summit was Colony Wars with bases and battleships, fleets and fortresses, second year promos, United Command, United Assault, Frontier events, Frontier promos, the tech cards, and of course the Commander decks. I think going in, I think we talked a little bit about this because the bracket was ensuing on our last pod, but did you think Lee was really poised before we started the tournament? You did a lot of testing.
I did.
Okay.
I did. I thought it was Lee's time to shine.
Yeah. I definitely agreed. I think I even said that Lee would win the tournament. It didn't look like that early because some of the Walshes was getting ahead, but like there were still some Lees doing their thing early in the bracket. But then later on, as we'll see from the win rates, I think Lee really just showed up and showed out in the end. What do you think contributed to Lee's success in this format?
Well, it was first of all the distinct lack of most of the green commanders absolutely helped out. The fact that McCready is not in the game immediately means that Lee no longer has a terrible matchup and can come out to play. His competition was Vulcan and Walsh, and there's in this format it was kind of slower, which meant that it was harder for Walsh to rush him down, and he was able to, against Vulcan, usually get his little engine going and set up, and there's not that many, I think, great Vulcan players out there to begin with.
Yeah. And you've always thought Lee's had the edge over Vulcan.
Yeah,
in general,
in a lot of... Yeah, like there's ways and stuff that it happens. It kind of feels that way. Again, there's not that many committed Vulcan players. There's a few out there. So I reserve my right to be totally wrong on that one. I've lost before. I lost in this tournament, and I'll probably lose again. But the manpower behind Vulcan, I think, is not super big. So
it's been a little bit now, but like, do you remember how you did or who you lost to in this?
Yes, tournament? I lost round 1 to Vulcan, and being at the beginning of this event, I was top 16, so I was sent to my favorite place of when you lose round 1, the Shadow Realm. The Shadow Realm briefly.
It's down there, I believe.
Oh, is it? The Shadow Realm is the place that you go in losers, where you have to win an extra game because you weren't lucky enough to get put with the rest of everybody else. So all these people down here were in the Shadow Realm. And so I slowly climbed my way. If I did this in winners, I would have done much better than top 12. Yes, and then I lost to Lee.
A match away from top 8. So that's cool. Now that you said that did help me jumpstart how I think I did. I believe, well, as you see there, I did lose to Mikoat. But then I played the person who beat you, right? Because we talked about it. That was D-Zilla, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, so D-Zilla right there beat the Vulcan. I remember that actually being a pretty dominant game. That was very fun. Beat David 9M. Okay. And then ran into Dark Ladder. I think that was is that top 16 qualifier? Yeah. So top 24 seems to be one of my favorite places to be these days. But I'll take the points. I played Walsh, as you guys can see here. I wanted to play Vulcan. I did a lot of games with Vulcan. Still just felt underpowered in front of the other commanders in the games that I played. Felt like it had a better shot against Walsh depending on how things went than Lee. But in the end, decided Walsh was the better cover with its high roll potential when it gets going against Lee was too good. And then you just kind of assume that there will be less Vulcans. That was my idea. So that didn't quite work out for me. And then my reason for not playing Lee, who I do love to play, I just have to really get practice with Lee if I know I'm thinking about playing for the tournament. Like, I almost switched, but like I did not play the games that you played, and I'm not going to make that dumb decision that some people, Marcus, like to do when they play test 10, 20 games with one commander for a tournament and then switch over to another commander and with no games and just play. So,
well, I don't know. He got beat by somebody playing Lee a bunch, so that must mean Lee's pretty good, right? That's
yeah. Oh man, I feel like have you played Marcus a little bit in these tournaments?
Again, I usually get sent to the Shadow Realm. He's usually down there with me. It's happened probably. I'm pretty sure if we go to the next event that we talk about, we're going to see it happen again there.
Fair enough. All right, let's bring it back up to the top 8 here. As we said earlier, the champion was Bork and Beans with Lee, 8-1 match record. I don't remember what his game record was, but it was still pretty impressive. As you can see by the one loss there, denotes that he won out of the losers bracket, which was pretty insane. I don't remember if he 6-0'd Alderaan or not, but
in Grand, I want to say it was something like that.
Okay, we can scroll down a little bit just to check it out, but from word of mouth, it was not. It was not close. Alderaan said that there were a lot of concessions in these sets, in these games. Just a lot of just next game. All right, you got it. Which made a lot of sense to me because I actually tested with Bork a lot. He was testing a lot mid tournament while he was waiting for rounds. Like I probably played like 15 games against this guy, maybe 1-3. Like Lee was going off. Like he just had the connectors. It was just like once you saw the wheel going, you just kind of knew like this is not a game I'm gonna win. And it just felt like just the cards aligned. And then you add like Frontier events, which I believe have a lot of cards that like really say let's do this, Lee.
Explorer to hand. Explorer on top of my deck. What?
Yeah, so I ended up playing up against Alderaan. Obviously, a really good player. Well-known Nandi player. Whipped out the Walsh this time with the limited options that were available for the tournament and did well for himself. This also notes that Bork and Beans actually, to this point, had won his second straight WWBC tournament because he won all Yokem in Event 3. Nice. So that is the second time that that's happened. Alderaan did that last season, I believe, in Event 2 and Event 3. And then, so how about the rest of the top 8? Alright, so we've got Rollin Pa third place with the Walsh. JP runs funny. With the Walsh, we mentioned as well, JP has not played in too many WWBC events to this point. 8 and 4. This would have been the 12th event. I think this was his 4th tournament that he's ever played in with us, and he's made top 8 in 3 of them. Top 8 or better. So pretty nice run for JP. Gianos cracking in with his first top 8 with the Lee at 6 and 2. Yeah. PA messing with the Lee, adding another top 8 with a different commander to his list. 5 and 2. Mark Bott, who's been killing it all season with the top 8s. 4 and 2. Raka 4 and 2 as well, sneaking in, beating yours truly, Connor, in that top 8 qualifier and losers. So yeah, that was the meta there. I believe there was like Walsh was the most played, and then Lee was a bit less so, and then Vulcan, as usual, the least played. So that was the Red Commander tournament. Do we have access to the win rates for this tournament?
Yep. You can go find it on the WWBC dashboard. I'm not pulling it up, but you can see.
The only thing that I remember for sure offhand was that the Lee Walsh matchup for the entire tournament was something like 39 and 19. Does that sound accurate?
Yes.
That was insane to me.
Yes, because I think like it was one of those steal from the rich kind of situations where 10% of the Lees beat 90% of the Walshes or something, something like that. What is this event?
4.
4?
Yep. Season 2, event 4.
Yes. Okay. Yes. 39 and 19 in favor of Lee.
Yes, in favor of Lee. Yes, which was ridiculous.
Yeah. And I'm
definitely helping Lee's all-time WWBC percentage, which isn't bad already. Just could always be a little bit better.
Yeah, I guess I don't have. Yeah, there's not too many. There's not too many stats. I was misremembering it, but yeah. Of those wins, like Bork and
what Bork, Gianos, yourself?
Bork, Gianos, myself.
Raka.
I think I only see Raka playing.
Oh, that's fair. Did he run into a lot of mirrors? Or
I think he ran into mirrors.
Okay.
So, yeah, like I think those 3 players on Lee, yeah, like specifically, I think Bork and Gianos just to have a ridiculous record against Walsh's, gobbling them up all tournament, with the exception of like Bork's loss to Alderaan in top 4.
Yeah. Like there were some people like even after these numbers came out, just still kind of like defending that, like being surprised that it was that bad. And that Walsh just could have done a little bit better to like do stuff. Like as somebody who tested this matchup a bit, like
nope,
there was not a lot you could do. Like there was not a lot of hate buying or anything that you can do. Like this format was very, not intentionally, a bit overtuned for Lee, I would say. And it'll be exciting because we will have this format again. We're going to use each of the 7 formats for each of the different color commanders, so everybody's going to get an orbit, and then we'll eventually use this format again openly. So I'll be excited. I think maybe even Lee might be able to take down some of its worser matchups potentially, because that's how good it felt. Like when the cards came for Lee, like he was a machine. So congrats to all the top 8 players. Congrats Alder making another grand finals. Bork for going back to back. Really putting himself up there in the rankings. With that, we go on to event number 5, which is one of my personal favorites, the Honey Buns format. This one was open, had everyone actually, including Yogum, play in this tournament. How did this one shake out? How did our top 8 shake out here? With the winner being Corey Bear. Corey Bear piloting that 90, who is seems to be the favorite for this format in particular. 6-0, undefeated, set record, taking down Slavic, I believe either 3-1 or 3-2 in grand finals. Just one set, as you can see by the undefeated. Juan Carlos making the run here. You got Cisco, Dwyo, Belush. Who was that last spot down there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Who's under Belush? I was going to say, I thought it was Alderaan sneaking in there. And then scroll up just a little bit more again. You've got a certain person there at number 4. Who might that be, Connor?
I can't tell. Yeah. It's a mystery to everyone.
A mystery. That's going to be me playing the Vulcan.
Yeah, nicely done.
That felt really good. It felt really good.
I think there was a lot of surprise probably in a J and 90 dominated world for Vulcan to do so well was surprising.
Yeah, for sure. And I believe like I played 3 Yokums in best 2 out of 3 games, and I beat 2 of them in best 2 out of 3 sets. So that was pretty impressive.
Nice.
Like I really started getting a feel for the format a little bit as far as how I wanted to play. You kind of have to keep your fingers crossed a lot and just hope like the comets come at the right time. But yeah, it was great. I had a lot of fun. 90 being 2-time defending champion in the Honey Buns format, this time actually getting to play Yokum, kind of disproving my theory that Yokum probably would have won this event easily if they made grands, because last season Yokum did not make it to grand finals, but it was still pretty close. But to see somebody other than Alderaan take this down was pretty impressive. Corey Bear's actual first time making grand finals in WWBC. So his first win and first actual, like whether being first or second, which was pretty surprising to me. That was Slavic's second time getting there. Juan Carlos has been consistently getting thirds and fourths, I'm pretty sure. So he's poised to crack that mantle here soon. Cisco Alvarez, I beat him in the top 6 match, and where I would go to lose to Juan Carlos. So, and I managed to beat Belush as well. I think I beat Belush in winners top 16, and then lost to Corey Bear in top 8. Yeah, so that's how that shook down. You played Lee.
I did.
Right? What'd you end up doing?
I think I went 1 and 2. Pretty sure I lost my first round and got sent to the Shadow Realm once again.
Once again, there's that Shadow Realm term, guys.
Here I am in the Shadow Realm fighting against Marcus.
How many spots were there down there this time? Was that just 2? Was there 1 of 2 and you were just 1 of them?
1, 2. That's correct.
Yep.
Yes, that's correct. 1 of 2 in the Shadow Realm.
Yep. That's rough.
Yep.
So, as usual, I mean, you're definitely one of the least advanced, but I mean, you did a lot of work in this format as well. And Lee's not a commander that most people would list to play in a format like this. So, like, what were some of your findings that like made you want to like pull the trigger on Lee for this one? Besides the fact that you're basically a Lee main.
Beating the pants off Alderin certainly helped. We played maybe 10 games of Lee versus Nandi, and certainly not due to his lack of skill, but just the in part the matchup, and in part me kind of figuring out that you just need to not blow up any of your cards for a while, your trash cards, until something clicks inside your brain and you can think, they have 50 health. I can kill them this turn. Yeah, you laugh, but stuff, it happens. And then you buy cards, and then events flip out, and then you play more cards. Yeah. It worked way better than I thought it would. But I just didn't. Who did I play round 1? I don't even remember.
I don't remember either.
This round 1 game, I think this played out, if I remember correctly, this played out more like a regular Star Realms game where he turned 1, got a big green base, and I said, oh, well, that's it for me, folks. Yeah. And, yeah, like, what would...
what base could it have been? I'm curious. This is Colony Wars.
You know what? It might have been something into Plasma Event. It might have been Plasma Event without having to Gambit for it into any other base.
Yeah.
Might have been instead the combo that I'm thinking of, where it's just like, yep, I'm going to Plasma Event, and then you're going to have to work turn 1 to kill the Plasma Event because you're Lee, and then here's another one that you're going to have to deal with, like I don't even know, what's the yellow one that's, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one, but here's another annoying base that I'm going to just sit in front of you, and this is what you're going to have to deal with twice in a row when you don't have damage.
I see. So you hit a Walsh,
Mm-hmm.
and then you played... Did you play Drain Money again?
Yes, I did.
Down there?
I sure did.
Back-to-back tournaments. That's right.
Yep.
Lee Mirror, and then you hit another Lee Mirror.
Yep.
Okay.
We're coming up on Agent Seto and Hypaspis level of rivalry at this point. Where this season we seem to meet in the Shadow Realm, but now that I've dropped out of the top 16, I don't think it's quite so easy anymore.
Gotcha. I'll say that I just like to find any spot I can to play Vulcan if possible. The testing was very back and forth. It was very mixed. Obviously, most of it was against Yokum, but I mean, I had a fair bit of success, and I just kind of saw the lines where, like, I mean, if this happens, like, it's a slower format too. So, like, one thing that I don't know, like, I found against the Yokum players was to dare them to like get damage card and like maybe like insta gambit and pop it up. Like, I would pop my base turn 1 against all the Yokums each time, and like more times than not, like they wouldn't have the damage. So like I would get maybe 2 or even 3 turns to either get damage to poke them or just get up my heal. And then also allow that to combo like with ally with any of my other stars, like the blue 2 coin 2 heal or whatever the hell. I did that almost every time against the Yokums. I found that was pretty good. And sometimes that they sometimes it would, yeah. Sometimes they would get lucky. I think at one time somebody had the hit their damage shards and dealt with it. It was like, oh, okay, that's fine. That's cool.
Didn't even like command shard for it. You just hit all 3 of them because you have to, right? You hit 1, 2, 3. Yeah, because 2. No, you could in theory command shard for it.
Yeah.
But Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you could do it. So like, yeah, like so you're kind of just daring them to either do that, hit the damage, make them make decisions. Because like otherwise, because then you're in a spot right where like if they have the convention, they have to like if they want, depending on how much they value my base, figure out like, what they want to do. They really want to use the command shot for that damage one, or do they want to use it for like a cycler or a scrapper. Um, so I think that was pretty attributing to my success versus most of them. And then just I mean, obviously you need a little bit of luck in this format as usual, but just very similar to you. Like I think people are starting to realize more and more that Honey Buns is really not a format predicated on buying cards early.
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of like if anything, maybe some econ. Explorers were very valuable. Not as much so as Lee, but I would just sit there, and then I also valued all the bombs in Kali Wars a lot. Like I was always just be very fearful of like flipping in Emperor's Dreadnoughts or Leviathans or Moonworms. Particular for some reason, I was always just very scared to flip Emperor's Dreadnought. Watching your opponent put that into the hand is one of the worst feelings to me. So like I always try to make sure I had it out to it. So I would either get a Star Barge. Obviously, everybody tries to keep those gate ships, gunships, as long as they can.
Nobody tries to keep the ship beyond
the gunships.
People are looking for ways to scrap gate ship.
Yeah, I had a crazy game in game 2 against Corey Bear that I almost won. But like, yeah, like Leviathan is just so strong.
It sure is.
Jesus Christ.
Especially in this format where like there's not a lot of like you got Leviathan and Emperor's Dreadnought.
Yeah.
And like
but also like so like, I mean honestly I would count Moonworm as a bomb in this format.
True. Oh yeah.
Like I mean, like it's like that those abilities are just in this format where you're like on average having a crap ton of cards, and then they can just for an ally just get another card for no cost and put it straight to hand and add to your whether it's another discard.
It's a dice roll. Like it's a dice roll on the
Yep.
lineup for events.
Yep.
Like it.
Yep.
Like that's like I said when I was doing Lee stuff and killing people from 50 health. And Poor Lux is definitely one of the people that I remember doing this to, where I like just bought. I got like trade mission into Levi, and I think it handed me trade mission, explorer to hand, and then flipped in Levi. So all I had to do was have 2 other econ, scrap the explorer, to put the Levi, buy Levi, put it on top, draw a discard, and then Levi, and then you just start taking more. Like it just that's another card. It's destroy target base if it's there. If you already had a green card, it's pick up another card. Yes, if you're Lee, can be an explorer for more draw. But even if you're not, like that's another. I mean, I'm sure because you're a bigger fan of tech than me, you've used that on like. Oh
my god!
The Stellar
I don't
Link.
think that I've ever done that.
No.
It's like Levi for a tech card.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever done that. I don't think I've ever had the opportunity to do that.
Wow.
I never even thought of that.
That's surprising. Oh yeah, I have absolutely. Because I mean, there have been a game where I got something else, like Aging Battleship or something, and then I was like, okay, I have 2 cards in deck, so I'm going to pick up the Stellar Link, pay the 2, and guarantee that the next card that I draw is going to be that card. That's a thing that you can do.
My mind is blown up.
Yeah, because you put it in your hand, but you just put it right into play.
Yeah. And yes, I do love the tech cards. They're not all great. I'm just a big believer in like each one has their moments, and like you just kind of have. Sometimes you really got to go out on a limb and take a chance, and you just live with the results. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like some of them are easier, like less risk to do so, but like I really do like I like to take a chance on processing here and there when I can. A lot of people really don't like Stellar Link. I don't love Stellar Link because let's be real, like Stellar Link can F you. There's no doubt about it. But like I have found way more cons to Stellar Link pros to Stellar Link than cons. So like I'll get it whenever I can. And obviously we know stealth and stealth, shield and guidance are obviously ridiculous.
Yeah.
In Honey Buns too, in particular, like guidance,
I just had my first like insane tech game, probably. Because, usually I just don't mess with them. But I had Coalition, I was playing Vulcan, I had Coalition Messenger, Stellar Link, and Processing. And then I bought an Embassy Yacht. So what I was doing is I had Econ, but I couldn't find the damage. So between Coalition Messenger and Processing, I was loading my deck up with base and Embassy Yacht to set up the draws. And then, if I had the extra 2 to Stellar Link before I did that, just to get rid of sometimes Stellar Link is just discard a random card from your deck, and that is the most value that it has. And so I would just be oh, I have 7 cards, or I have in that math it would be I have 5, so I'm going to go down to 4, and then I'm going to put 2 on top, and there's 6, and I'm not shuffling out.
You're not, yeah, exactly. Depending on what you're trying to do. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Yeah.
I'd never had Coalition Messenger ever put in so much work in a game before.
And again, cards like that. You see me. We play games. I like to take chances on cards like that too. That one I've had a little bit less success on, but just the options. There's so many options in this game, and in Commanders, there's just a lot of really cool stuff that we haven't seen there. But yeah. So rounding it out here.
Let's talk about the people who won. How about that?
Great format.
Yeah.
So we did this. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we didn't leave it too lackluster. So Corey Bear getting it done, his first season title. Slavic making another second place on his belt. A bunch of perennial top 8ers. Corey Bear, Juan Carlos, Cisco, Belush, Dwyle cracking it for the first time, myself cracking it for the first time. And to this point, for me, not having a top tier season, but up to this point, I think I got points. I got top 12 in Yoakum. Red Guys, I don't know if I got points or I got top 32, but then a top 4 here really kind of put me up there a little bit. So we'll find out where I'm at going into Green Guys. After this one. So once again, congrats to Corey Bear, all the top 8ers. And that should take us to, maybe the rankings?
Rankings.
So this should be everything up to before Event 6, since we've now covered Event 4 and Event 5. Penguin Army still number 1. Small anecdote.
5 points separating Yoshi and Penguin.
So this is the funny part. So because Event 4 took so long, it was probably one of the longer ones. We got a bit impatient and started Event 5 as that one was finishing. You got pretty close. Rankings were pretty much all set, but we were waiting on Grand Finals to finish. And it was Bork's difference from first to second was whether or not he won or lost in Event 4. So technically, for a small smidget, he was number 1 player in the season, and technically should have been number 1 seed in the Honey Buns event. But we had already started it and had everything else that we needed. Not that changes any points or anything, but I just wanted to point out at one time Bork was slated to be the number 1 player, but he is still killing it. 22-7 on the season. Penguin Army still just making placements, top 12s, top 8s. Who else do you see here of note? Any surprises?
No, I think Belush got a big jump this time around in 11th. I think he was maybe 16, but now he's pretty solidly up in there.
Yep, that's that top 8, 100 points.
Yeah,
I see. So Corey Bear fluctuated up there a little bit. Just obviously a 5-point difference between him and Aldrin. Aldrin was up at number 4 for a minute. Sheridan was holding a number 4 spot for quite a while after a couple subpar performances. Allowed Aldrin with his second place and Corey Bear with his first place to jump him recently. And, you see that 250 points that we always like to talk about for winning. Really put you up there. And it also highlights the fact that going into Event 6, we can really start talking about the main goal, which is to make the playoffs or the finals, if you will. And that's going to be the top 16 players, which we currently have. It's still close, but we do kind of have a line drawn with Raka at 250 in that spot for 16th, closely followed by the Nout, myself, and Sebas Ripper. Looks like there's a bit of wrong math there with you and Bahamut, unless I edited something after the fact. But you're right there at 220.
Yeah, it's not really a big deal.
Right.
They're all going to be ahead of me after this next event anyways.
Oh, really? Yeah, so you got, myself, I'm very happy to be at 18 right now. I've not been this close. I was really hoping to do well in this next event. We'll see how I'm doing. As far as the newcomers for the top 16, like I said, Raka, he was 17th last season, I believe. Pretty sure. I messaged him to see if he had any motivation, and he was like, he said he didn't particularly have any motivation, and he didn't remember how well he did last season or not, but he said he wouldn't have been surprised if he bubbled, because he just bubbles a lot. So, Darklighter really making impressive runs. Darklighter's been also unlucky like you, because you guys were always in that same area. He's been going to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, and having.
But he's also been winning like four or five games in a row for like the past like 3 tournaments. So like, if you take off the backwards win, he really could be going a little bit further in the rankings. But like, still holding on to a spot. You mentioned Belush. Markbot, still wanna mark him up again. Just having a great season right now. Find himself doing well. Can definitely consider him a top player this season. Right under Connor would be one ECM who's been making runs. I think that he's got a good shot to make the top 16 if he keeps on making like top 16 placements or better in tournaments. And I think everything else down there looks pretty normal. JP Run's fighting with that run and Red Guys jump from 52 to 31. That's all I really see here. Nothing too crazy. Obviously, our goal is to make top 16. I would like to do well in these next few events.
As opposed to just losing?
Yeah,
Huh. Weird.
Hey. I'm in front of you right now, okay?
Good.
Alright, what do we have next?
Probably we can either look at green guys or you can talk about skirmish squad. Skirmish.
That's fair. Okay. Yeah, I guess before going into Event 6, we'll talk about the secondary league that we are trying to pull out, and that is the Skirmish Squad tournament series that we're trying to do. So we're currently doing a small beta for it right now where we've got 18 players. 6 teams, 6 captains, drafting players, like whoever they want, usually within the WWBC pool, or if somebody else, if they know what people who don't play in commander tournaments, whatever they want to do. So I just found a few people who were interested in trying this out, tossing out ideas, see what we can do to make it better, and seeing if we can take this a little bit more seriously with a bigger size league. So if you're familiar with the Skirmish mode, the Commander Skirmish, it's a take on that. Except for, like, let's say the 3 commanders that you get on your side to pick one of to go against your opponent, those 3 commanders that you get to select would basically comprise a team of commanders to go against the other 3 that will be on the other side. So it will be you and 2 other players. The captain picking who they want people to be, or they can talk amongst themselves however they want to do it. But one player will be one of those commanders and go up against one of the other opponents in a best 2 out of 3 set, where just kind of the winner of the team set wins the match. Whether that be a 2-1 or a 3-0, doesn't particularly matter. But something I thought might be fun. I had a couple different ideas about it. Still working on a few things. Connor, you're in it. You're a captain, right?
I am a captain.
So like, first of all, I guess in Skirmish, I mean, what do you think of the Skirmish mode as itself, by itself? Do you like playing Skirmish?
Yeah, no, I grinded up like not 20. I didn't really play ranked, but I'm like level 18, 19 from skirmishes only.
Holy crap!
Yeah, because Dion and I were laughing at. I was like ranked 6. I was like level 6, 7.
Like, 7 for a long time.
Yeah, because I never played ranked, and then I played skirmishes, and now I'm level 18, 19 from skirmishes alone.
I can't believe
I was not going to say anything until either now or until I knew that I had passed you, because I know you're like 23 or 24, and I was like, I wonder. But I haven't been playing as much in the last week or so. But
yeah, it's not. I don't. It's not like you're playing like 50 to 100 games a week. So like, but still, like I wouldn't have known that until. I mean, I wouldn't even have paid attention if I had playtesting games with you. Like, that's crazy. I just know that I remember the last time that I did know you were level 7. So that's insane. All right.
So yeah, I've played a little skirmish.
Gotcha. Is there anything that I'm missing out on from just the individual skirmish standpoint that I haven't mentioned? Like, any particulars or about it that makes it cool? Like, what do you like about skirmish?
I like, at least my personal favorite thing about skirmish is mind gaming the other people, either by picking the commander that I would, if I was a rational person, I would never pick. So, like if I have Newberg and Lee, and my opponent has like McCready and Vulcan, right, and we'll also give them like Nandi, Walsh. You would think that I would pick Newberg, but actually I picked Lee. Or I didn't look at my screen at all, and I just picked a random commander. And then people hit me up in the Discord, or I just see what commander they picked, and I'm like, I see why you picked that, but that's not what happened. I just like messing around.
Okay. All right. So putting that into the context of what we're trying to push for the team aspect, obviously that does kind of water down some of the aspect that you just mentioned, that you said that you like those mind games and stuff like that. With what we've been doing so far, with just captains submitting their lineup of whoever their commanders are, and they're just matching up with each other. Now keep in mind as well, like the commissioner, who is me, gets submitted the lineups from the captains, and I randomize the matchups, so like they don't know who they're going to play. So you have that aspect, but to Connor's point, you do lose a little bit of that kind of intentional mind game that you want to play.
True. With my particular team, it hasn't worked out that way because we got dealt Vulcan in every single game. But if we didn't get dealt Vulcan in every single game and we had some degree of flexibility, I was definitely thinking about changing a little bit more who played who, because I think I have a team of like of at least specifically 2 very flexible players in Penguin Army, obviously, and then myself, who recently played Newberg for the first time and learned how to do it. So now I feel pretty good on everyone not named Nandi. So I was like, okay, like we can throw some curveballs at people and put like Penguin Army on Lee and put me on Newberg, like just to mess. That would be fun.
Okay.
It just, we didn't get dealt the hands to do that a lot, but it was in the back of my mind of like, okay, we could mess with people and get matchups that they don't expect.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what we have going here. Something I'm having a lot of fun with. I'm hoping all the other players are having fun with here. Our 6 captains here, as you can see, was Corey Bear, Alderin, Connor. JP is going to be JP Runs Funny. Dwyle and Jael, formerly known as JL, which might have been pronounced Jael anyway. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced. You're making a very strange hand motion, but I asked a Dutch person how to pronounce it, and so I'm not saying that I'm going to replicate it correctly. I'm just going to say that when I heard them say it, it sounded like yell, like you're yelling. Yes, the Y kind of J. So I believe it is yell, or something closer. Depending, I can't do all the vowels because it's another language. I got picked on for saying
well with like
just
his
yell.
last name and everything. That's
Yeah.
actually very interesting. So like, I wonder how. I don't know how the actual name here is supposed to sound, but this is also based off of his most recent commander, not commander.
Yes.
Sorry, his hero card.
Yeah.
Which was named. Was there like a title in front of it? I don't remember.
I don't know. I just seen the art. I know
Yeah.
he picks his names because he picked JL and Jael because of people like mispronouncing his name. And he thought it was funny. Like, so he thought, oh, this makes me sound like a Superman villain, which now he looks exactly like a Superman villain.
His card is pretty dope. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
He's got the like basic like it's like prayer hands, but they're but he's looking like real evil behind them.
Right.
Like he's got some sort of master plan that's happening and unfolding right in front of you.
Oh my goodness!
So he looks like a Lex Luthor style Superman villain. Okay. I don't know, but I don't know what his card does. It'd be interesting to see. I hope it makes people discard cards for some reason.
All right. But yeah, so that's our skirmish squad mode here. All the players play in WWBC, so just we don't have the rosters, but I can tell you that Team Alderin is comprised of Bork and Beans and
DG3.
DG3, yes. Team Connor has Penguin Army and ECM. That's right. That threw me off. ECM. Team Dwyle has Juan Carlos and myself. Team Yell or Jael has Jael himself.
I hope I pronounced it wrong on a podcast. I hope now that I pronounced it wrong so that there will be even more wrong ways to say it.
Jael, Rollinpa. Jesus. Who else on his team? Man. He doesn't have Cisco. Does he have Cisco?
That's a good question. I don't know. Corey Bear does not have Cisco. I think JP has Cisco.
I feel like you're right. All right, hold on. Here we go. Jael has Sheridan.
Yeah.
Jael has Sheridan. JP has Cisco and Ninjinen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then Corey Bear has himself, Darklighter, and Cephas Ripper. So all these teams, like for 3v3s, are pretty good. And right now, so we just did with 6 teams, beta. We just did a simple 1 orbit round robin, for which we are waiting for round 4 to end. So everybody's gonna play five matches, one against each of the other teams. And where we are right now, we have some results down here currently with standings. There we go. Yes. So this is probably going to be the format that we go with, unless we have some changes post beta, where I'll chat with the captains and maybe even some more of the players to see what they liked, what they didn't like, what we want to add. But currently the table is just set up of denotes set wins, so like just total sets that the teams won. Their match win loss, of course, any tiebreakers that ensue from similar record, and the points are should um, coordinate with the actual total wins that the team gets individually, well, as a whole, but from the individual players. So Team Alderan, Gile doing well. As a hype note, Team Alderan was 3-0 going into round 4, where they played Team Gile, and then they were able to beat them to make a little tie. Where Team JP currently has a chance to win and get up there at 3-1 as well. And then we'll go.
I can't believe I'm 4th, because up until this round we had lost all of our. We went 0-3 and run in round 4 for the first time.
You see that TV right there. That's tiebreakers from that last round. You beating Team Dwyle. That'd be my team. You beating us. So you guys have the advantage on us right now. So.
Oh, and Corey Bear. Oh, I thought Team Corey Bear was also 1-3, which I suppose they might be.
They could be, or they could go 2-2.
But we lost to Team Corey Bear, so we shouldn't be. We should not ever. Okay. Yeah. This makes a lot more sense now. We're 4th out of circumstance, and no other reason.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So this is squad skirmish. Skirmish squad, something I think really has potential to be really, really fun. And we'll see how things go when we can maybe put out a bigger tournament for it. With that, before we go into current Green Guys, see how that's going, we have had a new set come into the Star Realms app. That's going to be the High Alert Requisition set, which has a new mechanic. I think for the most part is being dubbed the discount mechanic. You want to explain some of the cards, or not necessarily what the theme of some of the discount?
Yeah, so there are 2 cards of each color that cost 1 less for each card of that color you play. I explained that in the most confusing possible way, but obviously they're on screen here. So there are 2 yellow cards that cost 1 less for each yellow card you've played this turn. So the first one here on the screen is Hellfire, right? And so at the bottom, each of these have this little discount, and I'm sure there will be lots of people talking about it in the context of regular Star Realms, but for Commanders, these are pretty big swings in a lot of cases. Hellfire, which happened to be first in this list, is also pretty high on, I would say, my personal tier list of cards that are things to watch out for in Commanders, because Lee, Nandi, and McCready can pick up a Hellfire on turn 1 almost 100% of the time. Even worse if, like, Lee or McCready gets both of their yellow cards in their opening hand, and suddenly that's a 2-cost, basically Hammerhead, and they can continue to buy other cards. So these are pretty accelerating cards, I would say, depending on what they do. So the cheaper ones are here with Corsair, which is an econ card, but also does damage, and it's for blue. This Operations platform, which is a base. To me, this is probably another kind of weak card in the set. It's flexible, but in Commanders, it's just usually not a whole lot. It's nice for Vulcan to flip some random base into her deck, but that's about it.
Yeah. Bit more, but an annoyance for Walsh to have a 2, I guess. But I've played in some games. I was playing in Meekwok's like crazy 1 base set plus Requisition tournament. And yeah, like for some reason, like you buy that base sometimes, like if you need defense, but then you play it and you feel like it does something other than 1/1. Like I remember I played it thinking it was like 2/2 or something like a border for it. I was like, this card is kind of trash.
Yeah, like you would think it would at least have 1 more health. It has 4 health. Like it's like integration port.
Man, dude, integration port is probably better than this card.
I think so. I think integration port, like, it doesn't have the discount, but like also, in what Commanders game do you buy integration port? Because
I mean,
if you're Walsh, maybe.
Hey, I think any black base 5 or more is good for Walsh. Like, an annoying, like, that's pretty annoying to deal with the integration port for 6. Like,
Yeah.
for 6, but like, hey, I'm buying that with Walsh a lot, depending on the situation. But, yeah. What else do we have on here?
We have the last cheap card is Warrior Pod, which is a green card that does 7 damage. It doesn't. I know that it looks like it has an ally ability, but it actually is just a green card that does 7 damage. That's basically free for any green commander. So I don't know who printed that card, but should have taken that one back to the drawing board. I think big oops. I don't. Maybe it's better.
So you say that. So like, if you take out the context of commanders, is that a better card?
I mean, it's not as bad.
Okay.
But like, I've never looked at Predator and thought, I wish there were more of these. I mean,
that's fair.
There's a promo card that we got. Oh my gosh, I don't remember.
Oh yeah.
But it's. Do you remember? We were at Origins.
Is it like a? It's like I don't remember what it's called. I know I have it.
It's like 2 or 3.
Is it like 2 costs?
It's like 2 or 3, and
is it like 2 costs? Like what is it? 5 damage. Does it do damage and then scraps to destroy target base or something like that? Or what are you talking about? Or might be thinking of something else.
Oh man.
I don't remember.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean look, all I remember is looking at it and be like, yeah, who? Yeah, my point is, outside of Commander still, more 2 for 4s that do more things when you ally them is kind of silly. Yeah. We didn't need more Predators.
And me and Connor definitely plan on testing a lot of Requisition with Commanders before we figure out how much we want to put it in WWBC, because we know we want to put it in WWBC, but like, ugh.
And so what I will say about this mechanic, which I think is actually critical to talk about for Commanders, is how the discount mechanic works in the app.
Cards in play?
So, yes, it is cards in play. We won't talk about Gateship because nobody wants to play Gateship anyways, but it, first of all, only reduces the cost while it's in the lineup. So you cannot Lee Scoutbot. If we go back to Hellfire, and this works as it's written. You'll discount the Hellfire down to 2 if you play 2 yellow cards, but you cannot Scoutbot it on top of your deck. That would be dumb. But it also, 4 cards, again, similar to Gateship, it does reduce their cost while they're in the lineup. So cards that are like gain a card cost for what's that blue ship? Coalition Freighter.
I know what you're talking about.
Yes, that's like put a ship cost 4 or less on top of your deck. If you discount it down to 4 or less, you will be able to acquire it on top of your deck. So that matters kind of specifically for some of like tanker mech, and again, Gateship does. There's this lunar landing card that costs 9, and if Gateship is, I think, the 3rd blue card you play or more, you can do it.
If it's does it have to be the 3rd one, or does it have to be the 4th one? Because I'm assuming there's no interrupt.
They were talking about this in beta, about what it should be, and originally it did not count. I don't remember if they ended up changing it though. So
do you think it should count?
Do I think it should count? Yes, because you have it in play when you play it and activate the effect. It's in play when you go to activate the effect, right? Honestly, I don't make the rules, but if I were making the rules, you would never be able to Gateship Lunar Landing, because paying to buy a card is not the same as reducing its cost. But I don't think that was the intention when they had written it that way, so that's why it works. But I'm a weirdo rules lawyer. And obviously, rule of cool here. So yes, you need to be able to do it.
We've had many of fun arguments in other games about how certain things should work. So yeah, so that's fair. That's fair.
Well, if Ian's not here, if all three of us were in a room, oh man.
Oh goodness. All right. So that's Wells Warrior Pod. Tanker Mech looks pretty cool. I look at these and obviously like I like to play Commanders. Regular Star Realms is very great. I don't think Commanders is better than Star Realms, but my mind always functions around Commanders. So like, but particularly how the lesser Commanders can kind of like be better. I look at this and I see another like Tanker Mech, if like another like Vulcan card, another scrapper that Vulcan can get. And then obviously the lunar landing.
Yeah. Yeah,
The
lunar landing is so fun.
So cool.
When lunar, like I posted the replay, but when lunar landing first came out, I queued up a game as Vulcan in the beta, and my opponent went first. And then on my turn, I played both blue cards, including the card that shuffles the base into the deck, and the card that makes blue cards cost one less, and I just played down enough to immediately shuffle it into my deck. And yeah, there's a lot of really fun interactions, and it's a super fun card to play with, just because it's a big card, and it's sometimes, and unlike Colossus, it's sometimes affordable, and you can just do it, and it's fun, and you can go.
Right? So many times you're just chilling there with the Colossus and you're just looking at 8 and you're like, But lunar landing, you can have 8 and it can and play a blue card and it's fine. Lunar landing's 8 for you. You just get it. Armor, I think is cool. Armor is pretty cute. I like the discard card mechanic. Another card that makes that just annoying, but 3 econ as well. It also looks cool. The artwork on these, all the cards are really sick. But I think they've really been killing it with the bases recently. The artwork on these bases, lunar landing looks like something out of a movie. And then the Swarm Colony. I think literally the first green base that just draws a card without an ally.
Yep.
That's pretty sick.
I've found that to be pretty powerful for a green card. Like the stuff like Infested Moon is like high risk, high reward outside of Commanders, where it's like if you pair it, you can suddenly get going. But Swarm Colony, on the other hand, like sometimes you draw 5 cards and you have Swarm Colony and no green cards, and this allows you to easily pair into it. So it's a pretty solid card.
Yeah. So this is the High Alert Requisition set. It is now in the app for everybody, not just beta players anymore. So definitely if you haven't gotten already, check it out. You don't have to play Commanders with it, but I think there's some pretty cool cards here. And with that, I think we'll go to see how the Green Commander Summit, our current event, is going. And I think actually we might round it out there just because of time constraints.
Yep.
But so Green Commander Summit tournament that we are playing now. Got our regular number of players. We get about 50 or so players playing in these tournaments, which is really awesome. Still trying to get 64 at one time, but 52 is pretty sick. Format for this one is the Frontiers base set. We've got first year promos, bases and battleships, second year promos, United Command, Stellar Allies. What people think based on how this season is going is my favorite event set, Frontier events, Frontier promos, and the tech cards, of course, with the Commander Dex expansion. This one is still ongoing, and based on the log number, I don't think anything has changed since I've checked the past couple of days. But we are pretty far along in the tournament, though. So let's see how we're looking here. For this one, I guess, we talked in all the other events here. Going into the tournament, we got a little bit of time. What do you think of the format going out with the fact that we know the commanders that we can play? The Newberg, the Walsh, the McCree.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing that I did is say, well, I guess I'm playing Newberg this game, and from the numbers, I believe there were 30 won Newburgh players.
I feel like that's right.
Because it was 60%. And so basically everybody thought the same thing. There's a lot of Newburgh on the field, and I think it's a good format for them. Again, not intentionally so.
Right. Fair enough. So you were saying you did pick Newburgh for this?
Yes,
event.
I did.
Yes. I picked Walsh. My selection choice was a little bit different in that I didn't think this was the tournament for McCready. I'm aware that McCready can beat Newburgh, but it's been widely spread and known and semi-proven that like Newburgh just has its number. Particularly in a format like this that's got so many cards that are good for him. You see Newburgh and you see Stellar Allies, and you're just like, hello, hello, pack warship. Like, hey, Jesus Christ.
How's it going?
But Walsh is a commander I feel just kind of has that reputation of potentially being 50-50 against most things, and I didn't want to play a lot of Newburgh mirrors, so I chose not to play Newburgh. I don't think that I'm superly well versed with them, but I can play them. But also, some of the games you don't have control of how long a game's going to take in general. But like I found that whether you're playing against or versus Newburgh too, it can get a little bit sweaty. Like you can be in situations where like you feel like you're in control, but like then sometimes if the damage is not come, like you're still just counting on like heals. Sometimes the heal is like your main source of damage, and then like if your opponent like gets scrapped out and all of a sudden gets this big swing at you, then the game's really awkward, and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. As Newburgh, but I don't know. But I've seen people beat me with some very interesting Newburgh decks. So I went Walsh. Let's see. Do we have enough? Can we like filter from full bracket to top 16? I don't know if we have 16 players yet. So we've got a winner side. I guess we could have just checked the standings, but this works too. So on the winner side, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Newburghs in the top 16 winner side. So that's already 6 of the 16.
And none of them made it to top 8 in winners.
Huh?
The Newburghs. None of the non-Newburghs.
Oh, non-Newburghs. Okay. It's like, that's all Newburgh to me right there.
Yep. Oops, all Newburgh.
Yes. Cool. Like, as far as the functionality of brackets and seedings, it's always fun to see the top seeds either get upset or the top seeds go as far as they're supposed to go. So, like, seeing number 2 and number 3 is pretty cool. See Borkin, Juan Carlos, Raka, like still trying to make sure he stays in top 16. He's already guaranteed top 8. And Corey Bear trying to get there, but also number 37 of a name that we've not seen much in this tournament series.
His time is now.
It might be
Finally.
now. He's playing in a best 2 out of 3 set right now against Corey Bear, and a Newburgh mirror is probably like the 20 of Newburgh mirror that's happened in this tournament already. But yeah, so Lux trying to maybe climb in on the scene with going into these last 3 tournaments, including this one. Let's filter the 32, and then we'll see. Okay. So you'll see me made it out of the not top 32 pools. I believe I beat Darth Binkley, his McCready, and then I had the one other game. D-Zilla maybe? Yeah, and I beat D-Zilla, who I played again. I played him in the last tournament, I believe. He was playing Newburgh, and that game was pretty sweaty. Then it brought me into Borgenbean to kind of beat the brakes off me, to be honest. That one was kind of rough. How'd your run go?
I don't remember who I played round 1. Did I play? I played Jael, notorious Superman villain Jael, in a mirror. That was a pretty close game, and it just came down to shuffle ups and stuff, and then I played Yarboa, and more or less the same thing. We had both had single digit health at the end. Just who drew that last drop of damage. But good games.
Avoiding Dre money, I see, because we played somebody else.
I know. I did not get sent to the Shadow Realm. Instead, I fought yet another person from your...
Yes. My family.
Yep.
Deanna B.
Yep, and I played Deanna B. And I think I ended up getting like an early heavy cruiser or something, and that was kind of it.
Gotcha.
And then Darklighter and I played, and
another Newburgh mirror.
Yep.
I'm very curious to see. I don't know what the highest number of mirrors that we've had for a tournament, because we don't really look at those because we like to see the other stuff. But this could go down as like the most.
The most Newburgh?
The most mirrors.
Oh. Yeah, probably.
Because obviously, season 1 we had a bunch of Yokums each tournament, but from tournament to tournament, but just looking at it already. Granted, obviously, there's only 3 choices, but still a lot of in crime.
And then here is, I believe, right? Oh no! So we have the last of the non-Newburghs.
Okay.
Are here in this stretch, Walsh, and McCready. And then down here we have ECM and Cisco if he wins this game.
Yes.
So that's and Markbot.
Yep, Markbot again, in that same spot he's always been, that top 8 qualification area. So we've already got a couple best 2 out of 3s going down in losers, which Halmanek and Rip should be playing top 16. ECM managed to beat me in a very, very close game. That game came very down to the wire, in which I was not able to find my I don't remember what the base was. It might be Coalition something, but it was the only base I was able to find in the matchup. Paired it with a blue, got some damage, got some health, but he was able to rush me down. Very good game though. So GG's to ECM, who I'm hoping to make the run here. He's number 22 right now. So we'll see how it goes. So that's currently Green Guys right now. Excited to see how this tournament shakes out and see what it does to the rankings, to see how much work Connor has to do in the last 2 tournaments.
Why you gotta do that to me? Why you gotta put me under tremendous pressure? Is it because it's the only time I ever actually win? Because you'd be right.
Yeah.
You'd be right.
Yeah. What wasn't it a pretty close call last year?
Yep.
It ended up not being as close, but going into it, there was.
I'm a lead player. If I live on the edge, I was born on the edge, and I'll die on the edge.
Are you calling it? Are you lead the next 2 tournaments?
No, because I only just hours ago realized that there is actually 2 events instead of 1, so I can't make that commitment without really testing it all in the next format, because I saw things and I don't know how they're gonna go. So we'll talk about it next time.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, sounds good. As if we're probably contrary to what we said in the beginning, probably no guest Def Lever text this time. But we will get it in the next one, probably doubly. But if there's nothing else, do you have anything else?
Nope. We'll also cover prediction bracket winners in the next one.
Yes.
That we had to skip over all the time.
I
have no idea why I would bring this up now of all times.
Yeah, we'll have to see what that was about for sure. But yes, thanks for joining in, guys. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye forever.